working with the idea that our beliefs create our reality, and if we take a look at our reality, then we see a reflection of our beliefs. And working with the idea that everything begins in the consciousness, in anybody's evolutionary path, I'd say anybody on the a spiritual path eventually works with the idea that we each create our reality, and it's as though they're looking at their life and they understand that to own their power, they can look around at what's happening and see if there's something that they're not happy about, decide, I would like to see this change, I would like to see that happen, I would like to see this different, and then to see that it happens. So people learn to own their power, I can say, their power to decide their own life. And at one point, starting to work with these ideas, I discovered that yes, I could do that. I could make decisions, and that these decisions could manifest in reality, but there were certain things that were not yet happening, certain things that were not yet manifesting. For example, I was in New York, I wanted to travel, I had this thirst for travel, but somehow I wasn't traveling. And so I thought, okay, I've heard this idea, our beliefs create our reality. I might have some limiting idea, some limiting belief that's interfering with this creative process, because we're told by beings we consider evolved that we are beings of infinite ability and that we can do anything. So if we decide something, there should be no limit to how it manifests. And yet, certain things hadn't yet manifested. And so I decided to ask myself why. What was the reason why I wasn't traveling when I wanted to? And the answer came, well, you don't have enough money to travel. And then I thought, okay, that means I have a belief that I need money to travel, and it doesn't work for me. And so I decided if I can change my belief, then get rid of this limiting idea and create a new one, then from that moment that would be true. So I decided from this moment now, if I want to travel, not only will it not cost me anything, somebody's going to pay me to do it. I mean, it was just a very crazy idea. And yet something felt different in my consciousness, although I hadn't yet seen anything different in the physical world. And about a month later, I received a telephone call from Geneva. Well, we're having an international congress of natural medicine, and we have Swami Satyananda, the Minister of Health from China, and we'd like you to come too. We heard you healed yourself of cancer. We want to know how you did it. And I asked, how did you hear about me? And the person said, somebody gave us an article you wrote. And I asked, when was that? And they said, about a month ago. So when I made this decision, things began to happen differently in the physical world, and in accord with the new decision, in accord with the new belief. And so I see how people live according to their beliefs, according to the limits they set, and if people believe they need to live a compromise, they live a compromise. If people believe they can have everything they want, somehow they work out having everything they want, and it's going beyond the limits. And people who are working with alpha techniques, with affirmation, with visualization, with positive thinking, they're working with the idea that our consciousness is like a computer, and it can be programmed, and in fact we have allowed it to be programmed. And some of the programs that we have accepted from society, from parents, we found haven't really been working for us, and so we can put in new programs. And when people go to alpha, they go to deeper parts of their consciousness, and they repeat statements, they repeat affirmations, positive statements that reflect a different reality. So, again, if someone wants to experience abundance, one of the affirmations is whether I'm eating or sleeping or playing or no matter what I'm doing, I'm earning money, and for most people, this is just such an outrageous concept. How can that be? Because they associate what they're doing in any moment to earn money with the creative process of earning money, instead of understanding that somehow things are moving in a certain way, and somewhere in the world somebody is enrolling in a class, buying a poster, a CD, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing, I'm earning money. So I can say this is a belief. We can have beliefs that limit us, and we can have beliefs that put back the limits. And again, if we're listening to beings that we consider evolved, and they're telling us we're unlimited, if we consider them evolved, we have to consider they might be right. And if we're really unlimited, then any thought, any belief, any concept that limits us is by its nature invalid and can be replaced with another idea, another belief, another concept that more reflects the unlimited nature of our being. So while we're told we're beings without limits, we're told that we can do anything, we're told that we are just unlimited, most people are not living that kind of life because of the way they have been limiting themselves with their thoughts, with the words that they use, with the way they talk to themselves, with their habits of speaking, where in my case I had to go beyond self-imposed limits to do this thing that people were considering impossible. And so I thought of how many times I use the word can't. And every time we use the word can't, we're reinforcing the idea that we're limited. And we use it in everyday speaking. I can't hear you instead of I don't hear you. I can't understand what you're saying instead of I don't understand. I can't stand that instead of I don't like that. And so I thought if I could eliminate this word from my consciousness, go on a mental diet, then the more I can express myself freely without that word, first of all, the more accurate I am in my expression, and the more I can allow myself to see beyond what had been self-imposed limits. One of the early books that was important to me was Programming and Metaprogramming in the Human Biocomputer. And in this book, the author says, in the province of the mind, what one believes to be true is true or becomes true within certain limits to be set experientially or experimentally, but those limits are further boundaries to be transcended. In the province of the mind, there are no limits. And so, for me, if I am accepting this as a truth, then I want to experience directly more and more of that truth by changing my way of thinking, by changing my way of speaking. Et voilà.